Welcome back to my channel. So this is gonna be me telling you guys the story time on my labor and delivery. It might be long, so hang in there. A couple of you guys requested this video, which I decided to do because I also like hearing other people's stories on their delivery, because every delivery is so different. Let's start like a little before I went into labor. My mom was like really she really you can see his head. She really wanted me to have an easy vaginal delivery. She didn't want me to have any complications. She was like basically scared because I was small and I had a big baby. Like, he was huge. For me, he was huge. So she basically she always told me, like, are you walking, squat, and also to bounce on a yoga ball or exercise ball. I'm not sure which way what it's called, but it's just like a big bouncy ball, and just bounce on it like a couple hours a day. And I would do all of that, and also I would stretch because I read online that stretching could also help with that, because one thing I wanted to avoid was having a C-section, and I also did not want to rip. I didn't want to have stitches on my vagina, but that didn't go as planned. I was doing that for probably, I think once I hit 24 weeks, since I was 6 months, I was doing all that. I would try to walk as much as I can. I would go to the dog park, take my dog to the dog park, and I do laps around there. And they say to walk 30 minutes a day, but I would only do like 15-20 minutes. I would try to aim for 30, but towards the end I would get so much pain. I had a lot of pain on my understomach and the back, on my lower back. It was so bad that I couldn't even turn in bed. Like, it would just hurt to even like turn from my left side to my right side. It would hurt like really bad. Like, I had to do it in slow motion. There was a name for it, but I don't remember whatever it was called, the pain that I got. And I really do think all that helped. So if you're pregnant right now and you're scared for delivering a baby, do that. Bounce on a yoga ball. And if you don't have a yoga ball, bounce at the edge of your bed. Sit at the edge of your bed and just bounce. Stretch, walk, all that helps. So then I was doing all that, and then I think at my 36 weeks or 37 weeks, you get checked to see how much you're dilated and effaced. My first time I was I want to say 1 centimeter or 1.5 centimeters dilated, and I think I was 0% effaced. I don't remember for sure. I just I'm guessing that's how far along I was. I remember I was so happy that I was 1.5 centimeters dilated. And I think, I want to say 38 weeks, they checked me again, and I was 3 centimeters dilated, and I was 80% effaced. And I was so happy. I was like, yay, my baby could come any day now, They asked me if I wanted to have my membrane stripped. So I said, yeah, go ahead, do it. Which is supposed to help speed up your dilation and effacing and all that. So, well, it didn't really help. It didn't help me the first time. It just caused me to, I just bled, and I got a little bit of contractions. But I remember when I started getting contractions, I was so happy. I was so happy, but I was so scared. You're supposed to time your contractions and see how far apart they are. But mine weren't even painful. But I still had my friend time them. Every time I had a contraction, I would send her a toilet emoji. So she helped me time my contractions. Shout out to Erica for helping me. I think only 3 times they were 5 minutes apart, which is good. Which is when they say is good. To go to delivery, I think it was 5 minutes apart. But it was just those 3 times. And then it didn't happen again, so I didn't go into hospital or anything, and they weren't even painful enough. I remember I would ask in a mommy group, like, how do you know you're in labor, and they're like, you'll know. They say the contractions could be so painful that you feel like you need to poop. I didn't get to that. I never felt that. My 39-week appointment came, and once again they checked me, and I was still 3 centimeters dilated and 80% effaced. And I remember I was so sad, so I got my membrane stripped again, and I didn't bleed that time. I only bled a little bit. My contractions still weren't bad. It was still the same. So I was upset. I was like, wow. Well, they made me schedule my appointment in case I had to be induced. I didn't want to go way past my due date. But I did not want to be induced. It's not one thing I wanted. But I still had to be induced. So basically what happened, I was 39 weeks and 3 days along when I went into the hospital. So I went into the hospital because my water was leaking, which I didn't even know my water was leaking until that night. It was a Wednesday night It was, I think, 10:30 p.m., 10 p.m. I took a shower, and I remember getting dressed. I remember laying down, and I remember just feeling water, like a little bit, like just wet, my underwear got wet. So I was like, what the heck? And I changed my underwear, and I think I did it again, and I was like, that's weird. So I think I told my mom, I was like, I think I told her either my water is gonna break, or like I think I just told her my underwear keeps like like my underwear was wet, and I don't remember, like I didn't pee or anything like that. I didn't pee myself or something. I'm forgetting something, am I don't know. But it was late at night. I didn't want to go to the hospital. My boyfriend said, let's go just in case. And I was like, no, like, it's late. I don't want them to send me home, because I know I'd be sad if they sent me home. So I didn't want them to send me home, and I didn't want us to go waste our time at the hospital and then my boyfriend be like all sleepy for work. I told my mom, and she called me. She's like, go to the hospital just in case. Like, you never know what could happen. She thought it was my water leaking, and it was my water leaking. And my boyfriend and her convinced me to go. So we went, and we got there, like, think like at 11:30. And they checked me in. They took me into the triage room by myself. They didn't let my boyfriend come. So they took me to the triage room by myself. And basically what she did there, the nurse was really cool, really nice, asking me all these questions. And basically when she was asking me questions, she asked me how long had my water been leaking. And I was like I never thought about it. And I was like, I think since Sunday. Now I honestly don't know if it was really since Sunday. It could have been longer, probably like a whole week already, and I didn't even notice. But I just told her Sunday because I wasn't sure. They had to like stick this freaking weird metal scrape thingy into me to take out like a sample of that little water that was leaking and test it in the labs to see if it was really my water, which it was. So then that's when she asked me how long had this been happening, and I told her I think since Sunday, so that had been 4 days already. She said that good thing I came in, because as of right now, me and my baby were at risk of infection because of that, because he was losing water and all that. And I was like, wow. So I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know if we were really going to get sick or what. As of that moment, all she did was she gave me my medicine. She gave me my IV. And then I went into the delivery room, and that's when my boyfriend finally was able to come. Then they put me on the medicine for when they induce you, which helps speed up your labor, for those who don't know. Basically forces your body to get ready to deliver a baby. What they were doing, since I was at risk of infection, they kind of did it fast for me. They did. So every 30 minutes, they were upping the inducing medicine by 2 points. Like 2 levels. Yeah, 2 levels. So basically, I started at 2, and then 30 minutes later, I was up to 4, and then 30 minutes later, 6, By the time they gave me that medicine, I think it was either 4 centimeters dilated, or I don't know. I don't remember when they checked me, but I remember them telling me I was 4 centimeters dilated, which once you hit 4 centimeters dilated, they say your dilation and all that is supposed to be faster after that. So then it was like, I want to say 1 a.m. when they gave me the medicine, and they finally let me like relax. I was laying down on the bed, relaxing, all that. Every 30 minutes, nurse was coming in, upping my level by 2. Once I hit 10, that's when I could not take it no more. My contractions were horrible. And let me tell you, my boyfriend was sleeping the whole entire time. He was dead asleep the whole entire time. I don't think he woke up until I got the epidural. Or I think he woke up once before I got the epidural, when I was like in a lot of pain. I think I was only at level 6 or 8 on the medicine. And he woke up for like 10 minutes, held my hand, rubbed my leg, I don't know. And then he went back to sleep. And I remember yelling. I was crying. I don't think I was yelling like, ah. I was just like whining, I guess. And I was saying, I do not want to have another baby. I'm never going to put myself through this again. But I mean, now that he's here, I'm like, maybe. Once I hit 10 on the medicine, and the nurse had asked me before, I think I was only like on 8 on the medicine, and she told me, she's like, are you sure you don't want the epidural right now? It's, and I was like, no, I'm fine. I could go. I could go a little longer. I was in a lot of pain when she told me this. I think I was on level 6 or 8. She had just put me on level 8, I think. But she was taking like my vitals and all that. And I was like, no, I'm fine right now, blah, blah, blah. I regretted saying that because I think I should have got it when she told me. But at the same time, I'm happy I didn't. At 10, levels on the medicine, or 12, I want to say. I think I went up to 10. I don't remember. I'm gonna just stay at 10. I called her in. I was like, I want the epidural. And she's like, okay, you lasted pretty good, you know. And she goes, it's gonna take about 30 minutes because I had to wait for something. They had to take something out and like give it 30 minutes to like go out of my body. I don't remember what it was. I can't even say. I just remember that. And then I also had to wait for the epidural guy to come to me because he was with another patient at the time. I remember I was like dreading it. I was like, are you serious? It's gonna take that long? In my head I was saying all that, but outside I was just like, okay, like hurry. I just kept telling her hurry up. I feel like they came faster. I think it was only like 15-20 minutes that I waited. And I remember I think my boyfriend woke him up again, or he was awake at the time. I don't remember, but I remember he was awake because they had him sit in front of me. They didn't have him sit behind the epidural guy, like he wasn't able to see like the needle and all that stuff. They make you like sit down like this and like squint, like, you know, like do hunchback. And I was holding on to the nurse, and she goes, tell me when you're gonna get a contraction, you know, and all this and that. She was helping me breathe them out, because basically when he's giving us the epidural, you can't move. I don't know, you just have to stay still, because if you move, you could possibly paralyze yourself because of the needle hitting a certain nerve or something. I remember I did not feel the needle. I did not feel a single thing. All I felt was my contractions. I did not feel anything on my back. Okay, so once I got the epidural, it was only numbing my right side. I have to do this. It was only numbing my right side, which was hell. I was still contracting bad from my left side because obviously it didn't numb this side of me. So they would, the nurse would turn me. She turned me like to be like slanted like this way to see if the medicine, you know, would go to this side of my body, and it took forever. She gave me the little button to keep pressing. I remember I pressed it any chance I can because it gives you a time limit. So I just kept pressing it. And let me tell you, that was the best thing in my life. But it took forever for it to kick in. It took, I want to say, an hour and a half for my left side to fully numb like my right side. And it was so painful like that. For those who've never had a baby and don't know contractions, like imagine just a bad cramp that's like 100 times worse. Like more painful on one side, only on your stomach. It was so bad. I think that was more painful than feeling it on my whole stomach. Finally it numbed me, and as soon as like it numbed me, I forgot to tell you guys, when she gave me the epidural, she checked me to see how dilated I was, and I was 8 centimeters dilated, and I think I was 100% effaced. I don't remember, but I just remember being 8 centimeters dilated, and I was so happy. I was like, oh my god. So my water broke before I got the epidural. I forgot to say that. It's because that night, like, it's a blur, but I remember stuff, you know, but I forgot what order it's in because it feels like it happens so fast but so slow. I don't know how to explain it. But yes, my water broke before I got my epidural. I think it was right before I got my epidural. And it just feels like a gushes of water coming out of you. It broke by itself, and I just remember calling the nurse, and I was like, my water broke. And she goes, oh, okay. And she came and like changed my pad, like the pad they put under you and all that. But I mean, I was still gushing a bunch of water out, and it felt weird. Just warm water, I don't know. So yeah, I got the epidural, my body numbed, and as soon as I'm about to like finally be able to go to sleep, at this point it was 7 a.m. And I was like, finally I get to go to sleep, you know, my body feels so relaxed. I was in heaven. I felt so happy. I remember I was texting my mom during all of this. I was like, you know, and I was supposed to have my mom and my mom-in-law and my boyfriend in the delivery room with me, but last minute I freaked out. I only had my boyfriend in the delivery room with me, but I mean, sometimes I wish I had them in there because I know they would have been awake with me, unlike him. So I was falling asleep. Literally, I was so comfortable finally in the hospital bed, all this and that. And the nurse comes in, and she checks me, and she goes, you're 10 centimeters dilated. She's like, you have to push. They're gonna deliver the baby right now. And I was like, what? I was like, is my doctor here? The doctor who delivered my baby is the same doctor who delivered my mom's baby, which is what I wanted. I went to the same doctor. If you guys don't know, my mom had a baby 3 months before I had my baby. So I have a little brother that is 3 months older than my baby. I guess he was there, so thank God he was there. And they woke my boyfriend up, and they're like, hey, you know, go wash your face, go get up, you know, wake up, she's about to push. And he goes, oh crap, you know, and goes and whatever, wakes himself up. And I wasn't even scared because I was so relax. Like, my body was so numb. I had pushed the button so much that I think I over numbed myself. I was numb for about 12 hours, to be honest. The doctor comes in. The doctors are all setting everything up, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm about to be my baby. So they're all setting up all the little incubator thing. My legs, they putting them on these things and making me like scoot and like taking off parts of the bed I'm on. All kinds of weird things. And next thing you know, the doctor comes in and he goes, you ready? And I was like, sure. Like, yeah, I'm ready. They tell me push. And I don't even feel myself pushing. I remember I was like pushing. They're telling me like how to push and like when to push. You came in to interrupt my video? My video about pushing you out of my vajayjay? I remember not feeling that I'm pushing. I remember I stopped and I was like, am I pushing? Like, because I could not feel it. I was so numb. And they're like, yes, like you're doing good, you know, keep going. And I think I literally only pushed for like 5-6 minutes. And it was about 5 pushes. My boyfriend saw the head, but he didn't want to say nothing. Because he didn't want to say nothing and then freak me out. And then the doctor goes, you're counting, his head's right there. They're like, do you want to feel it? And I was like, okay. And then I felt it and I remember I freaked out. I was like, oh my god, like, because it feels weird. It feels mushy. Like mushy and weird because of all the stuff that comes out on babies when they come out. And I remember I freaked out and they laughed. It was funny. And then next thing you know, baby's out. I think I cried. Yeah, I cried once I heard him crying. I remember asking, the first thing I think I asked was, why is he purple? Yeah. I had to get stitches. I got a 1st-degree tear. I had 4 stitches on my vagina, which is what I did not want. But let me say, it was not as bad as I thought. But I was super numb. I didn't feel them take out my placenta, and I didn't feel my doctor stitching me up. I didn't feel a single thing. I didn't feel my legs at all. And my recovery was good. My stitches weren't even bad. I had an easy delivery and an easy recovery. The only thing I'd say is the contractions were the worst part of it all. And someone also told me to talk about like the first months after I had my baby, basically postpartum. I didn't get hit with like postpartum depression. I was more like protective of my baby, like overly protective. I didn't want people touching my baby. One thing I do regret is letting so many people go to the hospital and see my baby. I feel like I didn't have time to relax, and you know, and then also once we got home, a lot of people would come and visit him, obviously because they wanted to meet him. I feel like I should have waited, you know, I should have like relaxed first. I was overprotective of him until he was, I think, I want to say 4 or 5 months. Like, it lasted a while. I don't know, it was just hard. That was like the hardest part, I think, is after my baby. Like, I was just scared for anything to happen to him. Like, it was easy to adjust to him. I don't know why. It was just easy for me. There was nights or mornings, like 4 in the morning, when he would not stop crying or he would not go to sleep, and I wouldn't know why. And my boyfriend would be at work, and I remember I would cry of frustration because I was so tired. I would be so tired, and he was just not having it. I think that's it. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment any ideas you guys want to see, any videos you guys want to see. It could be challenges, it could be the kind of vlog you guys want to see, a story time. Yeah, thank you.